Hey everybody, it's Allie and welcome back to December Daily for 2023. One of the projects that I have had in mind, or the stories that I wanted to tell, or things that I have thought about including this year, I had a little piece of paper over on my side of my table here that obviously now it can't find it. But it was an idea, and the idea was to use some of this really fun ribbon that I bought for the tree this year. It's this really pretty velvet ribbon. And what if I did just like a page that repeated that? And the original idea was like, it would be a full page and I would leave some space and maybe a little bit of journaling in there or something like that. But I'm kind of thinking that the back of this triangle might be the perfect page for that. And so this is my starting place. I have the ribbons that I got. I got these on Amazon. They are not inexpensive, but I will be saving all of the ribbons that I put on the tree this year to hopefully use in the coming years as well. And I thought this would be a fun way to bring in not only something that I've used around the house, but also just bring in some texture into the album itself. Now, I have the back of the triangle on here, but I think what I'm going to do is actually print out another triangle that I can build on and then potentially just adhere this on top. I'm also thinking about maybe a little bit of a flip up, maybe something like that, that would have some connection to the page, or, you know, some opportunity for a little bit more journaling. My actual tree page is coming up here pretty soon, which is this one that I've already set aside for that. And so I'm planning probably like maybe a nighttime picture of the tree. That was what I was talking about. I included the daytime picture the other day. So I think that this will be a fun place to tackle the story and bring in a little bit of some of the actual decor that we've used around the house. Okay, so for this thing, what I think that I want to do, mainly I need to decide what colors, how do I want the colors to be organized. I don't want to waste a lot of this. I have a wish that I would have saved any of the little scraps that I had when I was actually decorating the tree. I think that would have been good. These are about 1 inch wide. So let's figure out if this is like our 8.25, we're essentially going to need 8 of these plus a little bit more. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 colors here. So we'll use these 6 colors and then we'll have to repeat 1 or 2 probably. So I'm going to start just by laying them out and see what this looks like and kind of decide how I want to do, where I want to go from there. And you could do this with any ribbon that you might have. Maybe you have a special ribbon that you're wrapping, you know, your papers with this year, or wrapping your presents with this year. Or maybe you have some wrapping paper. This would be another fun way to showcase the wrapping paper that you're using this year, is maybe do a triangle. If you're still working off the back of this one like me, do a triangle like this and have your pattern paper, your wrapping papers would look really fun on here. Just little bits of them, right? Little peeks at each of the different patterns that you are including. That would be really fun too. Okay. I literally have been dreaming about this one. So I'm kind of excited to make it happen and to do it in the tree formation, which was not how I originally was thinking I was going to do it, but this is actually maybe even more fun. Okay. And it definitely goes along with my colorful, festive, fun intention this year, right? Okay. Okay, so now what I need to do is decide, do I want to have any of these stop in any spot so that I could have, you know, a little bit of journaling. It also reminds me of this paper which is still one of my favorites, and I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to use it yet. But this would be fun to do in a similar sort of thing, or maybe even add some of these on top, you know, cut them out, add it in. That could even sit right on top of there. That would be fun too. I'm not going to use this one yet because I'm still saving it. I'm, as we say sometimes, hoarding it maybe. Sometimes we do that. But I'm going to save that one. I'm not ready to commit to that yet, but I am ready to commit to this part. One of the things that I one of the things that I also saw is that if you have chipboard from us from, you know, past kits, even throughout the years, this actual piece fits right on there. I can't remember if this was from, did we do a Joy Story kit this year? I don't remember. I can't remember those things right now. But these, if you have some of those, there might be, I'm just going to pull out my other chipboard and see if I had more of those. I don't see any in these boxes that I have, but I know that there have been other ones of that, but that just looks super cute right on there, just like that. Again, it can be so wonderfully simple. Okay, what day is this? This is story 11. So I want to get some numbers on there too. Opening up my box of 11s. Got a few different ones here. Not even just if I could put something on top of there. I don't think none of these ones are really the ones that I want. But I do have, ooh, look, there's even a couple different, looks like we did a couple different ones of those fabric ones. Those are fun too. I could add 2 ones. Something like that. Bring that down. Those ones are the same. Those are cute. Let's see, what other ones did I have in here? Literally, what other ones? I got a bunch of other different ones too. So lots of, you guys have seen how I store all those in there. Okay. I think I love the idea of keeping the backside super simple, but I still wanted to bring up the idea, you know, of things that you could do, right? That you could, you know, cut some of these out, or, you know, even do halfway on a couple of them to add in a little bit of journaling. But I think this is going to be really fun. Very bright, very colorful. So here's an example, like if you had other ribbon, you could use a combination of ribbons behind there, or slice up your pattern paper, or here, I keep saying pattern papers, slice up your wrapping paper and do it that way too. That would be a really fun representation. The goal is, what is a representation of the holiday around your house? You could make this interactive. You could turn it to some whole other thing. Remember, my yesterday had a whole bunch of other things going on. So for today's story, I'm liking the idea of keeping it a little bit simpler. Okay, so I got that part done. And then what I decided to actually do for the story today is I had my book club Christmas gathering today. So I went ahead and I just did a digital page. So this is a picture of the gifts. I did custom wrapping paper for my gifts this year. And then I just went ahead and did this digitally. So I've got the other photo there. I have the holiday traditions journaling. Obviously, it's something that could be folded if you wanted to. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I'm going to adjust it a little bit so that I want even margins on both sides. So I need to trim that or cut that on the computer. I need to move it down just a little bit. And then what I'm thinking about doing along here, it needs to be trimmed on the top and on the bottom too, is one of the gift wrap. This was the wrapping paper that one of my friends brought. And I was thinking this might be fun to cut and have these little trees along the bottom, with brings in some of the color on the other side over here. So I'm going to go reformat that to trim this end down. Okay, so while that's printing out, I'm going to try cutting one of these and see what that ends up looking like. I'm thinking that I will cut it so it has a white border around the top. Okay, that's better. See how the margins, it's similar. It actually has more space along the edge there this time. All right, so a couple things I'm thinking of. I kept thinking about this gather paper, which is really a bold, bright paper. And I was kind of thinking maybe I would fold it over, but I kind of just want to leave it as it is. I kind of like just having, there's my big page. This is the other one. Maybe I put this in here though. I'm not sure how many other gathers. Maybe I'll just add that in there. I don't know how many other gatherings. Okay, so here's the other thing. Is problem here. Good and bad. Okay, so my journaling needs to be smaller. Or I need to be able to see it. So I could go over the top. Or I could just have... I think I'm just going to try just to make it a little bit smaller. Do my journaling just a little bit smaller so that this could be added on there. Okay, this is for sure the one that I have had to reprint the most times. And mainly what I had to do with was dealing with the journaling and trying to get that in the right spot. So I think even this one right here, I think I even do it one more time after this, but I can't remember if I kept that added in. You'll probably just see it all just morph into it. I think what I ended up doing was adding just a little bit more space between the lines, which is called the leading. And part of the reason why I was able to do that was because once I cut these trees to fit in that space, don't put as much adhesive as I did right there, because what happened was there was adhesive poking between the trees, and that we cannot have that. we cannot have that. We do not want that. So I actually reprinted the whole thing, recut the trees, re-adhered them down, and now I just time warped, you guys. So that worked out great. What I do end up doing though is I do take this page over and I'm going to run it through the sewing machine, just give it a little bit of added texture, and then I will be adding these stars. I kind of thought about like could I add these stars in between the trees? Did each tree want a little star? I do have a star over on top of my velvet ribbon, so I liked the idea of having at least a couple stars over on top of these trees. And at first I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll use those tiny ones. But what I did do is I took it over to the sewing machine. I did a little zigzag stitch there across the bottom, which I thought I like that, adding in that just a little bit of texture with a, primarily a digital page. And then I'm going to add on just one of those little chipboard stars on the trees. You can see I'm going to pull those little ones off. I'm going to move the one to the red, and then I'm going to put a bigger one up on top of the hand stitch tags that I did for my book club this time. I don't usually go all out. I had so much fun crafting the patterns for my friends this time. So that's a look at story 11. Let me know if you guys have questions in the comments below.